I think a lot of you know we're involved with Young Life. We had a chance to go to a Young Life staff conference a few weeks ago. This happens every 4 years, and it's just a great experience. Over 6,000 staff come in from all over the world. We met just outside Disney, so it's a magical place. But it's a really great experience to be with that many people from all over the world who are on the same mission with you. And if you don't know Young Life, that's to tell teenagers about Jesus. The time was really special. It included seeing friends we've had for decades that are still in the mission with us. It also included worship from people all over the globe in all different languages, which was awesome. But most of all, a chance for us, myself and Erica, and really all the staff to rest, reflect, and kind of be open to what the Lord had for us and me during that time. So I'm going to share kind of one takeaway that I took from that time. A little background, post-COVID, I started practicing, we can all agree it was a little weird post-COVID. I started practicing some self-talk to just recenter me on God's truth when I needed it. And my first word that I used out of COVID was just the little phrase, carefree. And it started out as kind of a joke, but really what it was meant to reflect God's desire for me to cast my anxiety on him and not to worry. I found it really effective to bring my attention and focus back to God's truth. And over time, it kind of changed my character in that way. So as 2023 was ending, I've been using this for several years. As 2023 was ending, I felt I needed something new. So I was toying around with a few things. At the Young Life Conference, through speakers and some time with God, I kind of landed on my next one. And so I'll share what that is. It was prompted by a speaker who spoke about one's lifelong journey in ministry, and one of the main ideas was how to finish well, how to end well. He spoke about this statistical reality, especially among people on mission. It's very common, one's pursuit of God, and real pursuit of God, not necessarily a relationship with God, but pursuit of God, and then the outflow of ministry to fizzle out as we come toward the end of our lives. I turned 40 this past year, and so it's a reflective time for those who have been through it. And that struck me that it was time to start taking the risk that I won't finish well seriously, not in a pessimistic or kind of defeatist way, but just how do I actively fight against it? And there's a verse that came to mind and say, how do I get to the point in my life where I can repeat the words that Paul wrote in 2 Timothy? This is 2 Timothy 4, 6 through 8. He wrote, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time for my departure is near. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." So how can I say that? So the phrase I'm using, this may be ring a bell for some of you, is further up and further in. If you've heard of the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis, it's a phrase from the final book in the series. At the end of the book, and I thought about this, I apologize for spoiler at the end of a series, but it came out in 1956, so you've had plenty of time to read it. At the end of the book, the characters have entered God's country, i.e. heaven, and as they move through it, everything they encounter is better than what they've seen before, better and more wonderful than what they've already seen as they get deeper into it. And so as much as they're amazed, they're encouraged and encourage each other to keep going further up, venturing deeper. And I think Lewis meant it as a picture of our relationship with the Lord, both on earth and in heaven. As we move toward him, we learn more, we go deeper in relationship. We see that everything is more real, more wonderful the more we go in. Contrasting to the idea, there's a group of characters in the book that after they kind of cross the threshold into heaven, they kind of all sit in a circle right inside the door, and they never go further. And I think that's the picture that he paints of coming in, but then being content where you are and not discovering the more, not pursuing God, not going deeper, and seeing how amazing things are the more you go in. And so that's why I landed on that phrase, further up and further in. That's what the characters say to each other to encourage to keep going, keep going. And that repeating that will remind me not to just be content in my relationship with God, with ministry, with mission, the way it is today, but to keep pursuing, even if what I'm experiencing today is great, that I trust that if I keep moving, it gets better and better. And so if you see me muttering something, there's a small chance. It's not so nice, very small chance. But hopefully it's me reminding myself to go further up and further in.